So I'm going to be showing you guys the exact infrastructures that I'm going to be putting in place and that I already have in place to continue scaling my agency to, upwards of 500K or, $1 million a year going into 2024. Okay. Quarter four is about to end, and, a lot of you guys haven't even planned out, your quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and or your entire year. Okay. Within this little downtime, time between, like December, and obviously going into January, I've just been using this entire month to, just kind of clear my mind and kind of just plan for the next year, right? The plan hasn't really changed, okay? And this plan that I'm going to be detailing below is, the plan that obviously I have been using to grow my agency and sign on new clients, and also what I've been, placing within, B2C coaches infrastructures to, help them scale. Okay. So, but don't get it twisted though. Obviously, any type of service provider can use this service really. You can be a regular SMMA, owner, helping and serving local businesses. You can be a coach, you can be a consultant, or you can run a short form content agency, an info product growth agency, AI automation agency, any type of these business models, any type of business model, this model will work for. Okay. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Okay. So the infrastructure to generate and convert attention, for your info products and your coaching program, your agency, whatever it may be. Okay. So obviously, like I said, there's two parts. Number one is driving traffic, and then number two would be converting this traffic. Obviously, we need a really solid, really good team under us to actually, kind of handle all the dirty work while, we're just the personal brand. We're just the face behind it. And all we do, as, the personal brand and the face behind the brand is we record content and then we send it to the team. Then from there, the team posts it. And then, any type of attention that, comes towards us is converted by these people over here. Okay. So in terms of the team, this is how it kind of works. So we are running a 6-person model, okay? So obviously the face behind the brand, the personal brand, so it would be you, the founder, okay? Obviously, like I said, your tasks are going to be more marketing related, and you're going to be more focused on working on the business than in it, okay? So obviously you have to be doing tasks that are leveraged and that, that actually matter. Okay. You do not want to be wasting your time doing a bunch of stuff that can be easily delegated to somebody else. Right. That's obviously why we have team members, and that's why we pay them, to do some work for us. You know what I mean? So in terms of, I guess, your initial marketing team, it's going to consist of 3 people, not including you. Okay. So we're going to have your media buyer. Now your media buyer is in charge of, obviously it's in the name, buying media. So they're in charge of, using ad revenue and spending money on the ads to essentially buy eyeballs from a qualified audience. Okay. So the way that we use this, obviously we're going to be going a little more in depth on this in a second, but obviously we need qualified prospects onto our stuff. Hence why we don't really rely on organic content like we used to back then, right? Because organic content, the targeting is not really as good as, paying for traffic. Because paying for traffic, you got to keep in mind that paying for traffic, it's been perfected for the past, 8, 9, 10 years. So obviously organic traffic isn't going to have as good as targeting, right? But obviously we do need to, build a little bit of an organic side and organic content portfolio as well. Hence why we hire content editors, right? So obviously the face behind the brand would, obviously be the one. Number one, obviously, kind of creating the ads and just, recording them and sending them to the media buyer. And number two, obviously recording the ads and recording, consistent content, whether it be short or long form, and sending it to a content editor. Now the content editor is going to obviously make the content look really appealing, really professional, and really engaging, so that even if, somehow, your ads aren't targeting the right people somehow, your content is still going to be, doing really good organically itself. Okay. And obviously within, the system that I kind of run, we use content more as a nurturing mechanism as opposed to obviously, generating attention like a lot of people use it for. But obviously we'll go ahead and get back to that later. Then we also have a content manager. So by this, I mean, somebody who, gives you the ideas and essentially, kind of posts for you, just writes out, all the scripts and stuff like that for you to then post. Okay. And obviously this is really important because, these are very low leverage tasks, right? Like obviously, like, building your content portfolio is very important or whatever, but this is just obviously, you do not want to be spending your time doing this because this is very, this very energy draining stuff. Hence why you want to delegate it to somebody else. I would much rather pay somebody, 3-4K a month to come up with my content ideas, write the captions, write everything and post it for me, as opposed to me having to do all this myself. Because, I myself, it'd probably take me, an extra 4 or 5 hours a week to do all this stuff. And believe me, as, business owner, that's the last thing you really want to be doing. Okay. You just want to try, to put it simply, you just want to try to buy yourself out of, as much stuff as humanly possible. Okay. And make sure the system still works. Then in terms of converting the traffic, so I just went through the internal, I guess front end, marketing team. Now we're going to go, a little bit towards the back end and essentially look at, the people that are going to be converting this attention into cash for you. Okay. So number one, we have our DM setter. Okay. So obviously, using the front end marketing, we're going to be starting conversations within a single channel, this single channel being Instagram and or Facebook. Okay. And then obviously we need a DM setter or 2 DM setters in place, depending on if you want to use both, to obviously start conversations with these prospects and get them on meetings. Okay. So yeah, their job is to obviously, book these people into meetings. And then from here, they'll get taken through a sales process where they'll get nurtured with, a lot of the stuff from your front end marketing. So, longer form content, sales letters, essentially trying to, pre-sell them on the mechanisms before they even jump on the call and get them to a buying decision before they jump on, so that your closer or, you doesn't really have to waste your time on all this different type of stuff. Okay. And then from here, obviously, either you or the closer will kind of, have like a really quick call and you'll get invoiced a lot of money because, you took time out of your day to, create these content assets that sold and sell for you. Okay. So yeah, now that we kind of went through, the team kind of needed to obviously run this type of model, let's actually go more towards the mechanisms. Okay. So like I said, kind of the main driving force of how this system kind of works is the content itself. Okay. So obviously we have a couple of type of content pieces within this funnel. Let's just dissect all 5 of them real quick. Number one, we have our follow ads, and I'm going to be going on in depth on them in a second. Okay. Number 2, we have our short form content. Number 3, we have our retargeting ads. Number 4, we have our long form content. And then number 5, we have our lead magnet. Now these all play very, very important roles. So I'll explain them for you in a second. So a follow ad, the main purpose of it is obviously to essentially take a cold prospect that's in your niche, and that's obviously a qualified prospect, and kind of introduce them and kind of make a really good first impression on them, and kind of let them know that, hey, I'm here if you need any type of insights on scaling or doing whatever, or dating, or becoming a better salesman. Just follow me, and I'm here. You can consume my content anytime you want. And obviously the whole point of this is, number 1, you gain followers, and number 2, there's more people, more eyeballs on you, more people paying attention to you, and number 3, there's more prospects to convert, right? So that's the whole point of the follow ad, to obviously take cold traffic, introduce them to you and your mechanisms, and kind of nurture them over time. Then from here, obviously what we're going to do is, within the follow ad, obviously at the end, we need to redirect obviously the eyeballs from the follow ad to your page. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a call to action to click on your profile and follow, and then from here to go through your content portfolio, your front end content portfolio, meaning your short form content. Okay. Now, within your short form content, you want to provide a lot of value. You want to have a very, very, very in-depth, portfolio that kind of goes very in-depth on everything that they would need to kind of, essentially, scale or succeed in whatever it is you're kind of consulting. You want to consult them on by themselves. Okay. So it goes, done for you. Then, sorry, my bad. It goes DIY, then it goes done for you, then it goes done with you. Okay. So in this, in this example, obviously we're starting with DIY. So we're giving them free advice on how they could do it themselves. Right. So then from here we have another call to action. Okay. So this call to action is a conversion mechanism. So, the call to action is to comment a keyword. And then from here, what would happen is, if they comment a keyword, then the appointment setter that, we placed on our team would start a conversation with this new prospect, okay? Since they're the ones that engaged and opted in. However, if they don't engage, then it's okay, because not only have they, they've been, targeted by your ad, but they've also gone through your content, meaning that they're a pretty warm lead, right? So then from here, essentially what would happen is, obviously, if they don't engage with any of this stuff, so then if they don't engage with, kind of the content, or, if they engage, or if they don't engage with the retargeting ad, then they'll just get redirected again to, your long form content. However, if they do engage with your, retargeting ad, which is another conversion mechanism in itself, meant to drive engagement and start conversations, then obviously, the setter will start a conversation, as they did over here with the call to action from the content. Okay. However, like I said, even if they still don't opt in, even after being retargeted, what happens is, you need to redirect them to your longer form content portfolio, because this is where, I've closed a lot of my really, really big clients. I'm talking, 5-figure clients. It's off this long form content, kind of like this stuff that I'm making right now. Okay. Personally, the way that I like thinking about it is, I like positioning myself at the end. So obviously, you have the people at the front, you have your Iman Gadzis, your Jordan Welches, you have all these people that, just spew kind of the same stuff over and over again. And it's kind of basic knowledge, but people still eat it up because, the videos are so engaging. However, I like spitting real value, and, I make videos like this so that, obviously, if you don't have the attention span to watch it through, then you're kind of missing out on, really key insights that can help you scale, your coaching business. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the reason why I do it. But from the long form content, you obviously want to introduce your audience to a lead magnet. So for example, I'm just going to leak, like I said, I was leaking everything. My lead magnet is obviously the Content2Cash Program. So it's obviously what we give to our clients, and it's obviously how to go ahead and implement this entire system by yourself. Okay. The entire SOPs that I give to them and everything, the way that I service deliver for them, all those SOPs, I gave them to you for free, as long as you join my Facebook group. Okay. So like it says here, you redirect them to your Facebook group. Okay. Or, your school group, whatever it may be. Right. Telegram, Discord, whatever. Right. I just like Facebook because my target audience. So then from here, obviously, in the group, you want them to answer qualifying questions, and then from here, once they get accepted into the group, I talk about this a lot in my Facebook videos, but you want to tag them on your lead magnet posts and essentially try and bait engagement. Okay. So you want to have a pin post inside your Facebook group that kind of promotes and goes over your lead magnet and kind of, reminds people why they even joined the Facebook group in the first place. Okay. Kind of, setting their intentions, and reminding them why they joined, right? So you want your appointment setter to tag every single new prospect in this post so that they can be like, oh shoot, I joined for this, and the only way to, get the lead magnet is by, engaging, and commenting this keyword. Therefore, I'm going to do it. So when they engage, what happens is the setter starts a conversation, right? So we just started a conversation 3 different type of ways. Number 1, with the content, the conversion mechanism from the content. Number 2, the conversion mechanism from the keyword ad, which is another, conversion mechanism. And then number 3 is, within the group itself and on Facebook and on a whole different platform, right? So the setter will obviously start a conversation, start DM setter, okay? Then they're going to leverage the long form content to solve inefficiencies that the prospect may be, dealing with and or kind of trying to solve within their business. All right. Hence why we need to have a very, very in-depth short and long form content portfolio, which is what I try to do myself, so that when my team does outbound, they could answer every single question and solve every single problem with one video, which will in turn reduce reciprocity. Okay. And then from here, once we solve their problem and we, consult them over the DMs, we'll propose a value call. Okay. Now, obviously, within the group, the Facebook group, if they say no, then over time, we'll just kind of get them with more content, more lead magnets, more engagement posts and stuff like that, until finally they opt in, they agree, and we've just provided them so much value to the point where it's like, they need to book a call, or else it's kind of them just like fucking us over, essentially, right? However, if yes, then that's a book call for your calendar, and that's a +1, right? And then from here, obviously, it kind of gets given to the closer. Okay. So then from here, what's going to happen is, the prospect is going to go through the sales process, and within the sales process, you need to leverage automations, okay? Because automations make your life 10 times easier, right? Personally, I recommend Calendly. I use Calendly, but there's a lot of people that use high level, but I just like keeping stuff really, really simple, okay? So I use Calendly, right? So you take them through your sales process, obviously within every single email. You kind of want to send them a new, sales asset within every, email, text message, whatever it may be. So obviously they can kind of get pre-sold on your mechanisms before they even jump on the call. Okay. And then from here, obviously when they jump on the call, they become a new client in less than, 10, 20 minutes, just because obviously, you kind of already pre-sold them on the mechanisms before they even jumped on the call. Okay. So that's how we go about converting traffic. So just to kind of recap real quick before we obviously end this off, obviously there's driving and converting traffic. We need a team for both. So to drive traffic, we need you as the personal brand to obviously create the content, a media buyer to, buy the eyeballs from qualified prospects and put yourself in front of qualified prospects that can actually afford your services and, are actually dealing with the problems you're facing with and are in your ICA. Then we have, your content editor to kind of make your content portfolio look really, fancy and engaging. Which will also, drive more conversions from the ad and the content itself, which will lead to even more eyeballs onto, you and your products. Okay. Then we have your content manager who's going to come up with, your scripts, kind of everything content related, and post the videos for you on autopilot. Okay. Then in terms of converting the traffic, obviously we have your DM setter, who's going to be, booking the appointments. Then your closer, who's going to be closing the deals. Right. Then in terms of our content, or how, the system goes, the inbound system, we have a follow ad. Then from the follow ad, we redirect them to your short form content portfolio, which is your front end content. Then we add a conversion mechanism, and obviously, if they comment the keyword at, call to action at the end of the video, then the setter will start a conversation. However, if not, they'll just get retargeted. Now, if they, they opt into the conversion mechanism and they comment the keyword on the retargeting ad, then they'll also get messaged as well by the setter. However, if not, and they're a little more cautious of a prospect, then obviously what will happen is you redirect them to your long form content, you introduce them to your lead magnet, you have them consume that. Then from there, you redirect them to the group to, kind of claim this lead magnet. You want to make this lead magnet sound really, really, kind of like exotic, right? Then you obviously have them answer qualifying questions. You tag them on this lead magnet post and have them, bait them for engagement essentially, so that the setter could then start a conversation within the DMs and leverage content to solve inefficiencies, which will induce reciprocity, which from here, when you propose a call, they're much more likely to say yes. However, if they don't, then you just use engagement posts until obviously, you've provided them so much value that they have to agree, or else it kind of feels like they're screwing you over. Right. Then in terms of the sales process, obviously you leverage your long form sales letters to kind of, pre-sell them on your mechanisms before they jump on call, to make life even, to make life 10 times easier for the closer. Okay. And then from here, obviously there's a new client. Now, obviously I have another video that's focused on service delivery. So if you want to learn how to service deliver for your coaching program, or your agency, I really do recommend you check that out. Okay. But that's going to be it from me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, if you want to implement all this stuff that I just went over, I know this is kind of crazy stuff that nobody talks about. But one thing about me is I love leaking everything. Okay. So if you want to leak all this, or if you want to implement all this stuff that I kind of just went over, you can book a call with me in the description. Or actually, first, I want you to watch all my videos, because I want you to obviously educate yourself on what you're getting into, because this model is very, very scalable. However, obviously, I just want you to educate yourself. And kind of try doing it yourself before you even try working with me. Okay. So that being said, go ahead and watch my content. I guarantee you'll become a client. Then from there, once you feel educated enough, go ahead and book a call. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, it's 8/12. I'm in Miami. I think I'm gonna go hit Balans, or I think I'm gonna go to Casa 2. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.